Oh, there's just something about tournament golf that is intoxicating. Knowing that you don't have the option to just throw out a mulligan with that wayward tee ball. Every shot matters. There's no one to bail you out, no one to tell you it's going to be alright. It's just you and the golf course. And today, it's a really long, wet golf course. It's a small field in the US Am Tour event, and despite being rusty, I feel like I have a shot to win the event. This will be a good tune-up to see where my game is heading into more tournaments in 2025.
Next on the tee box from Murphy, Texas, Mr. Dallas Webster.
The first tee shot is always nerve-wracking, and even more so for me when it's less than driver.
All right, good shot. Thank you. Play well, gentlemen.
But I piped that 2-iron, and we're in great shape on this tough opening hole.
Good to be back.
The second shot is way downhill to a green that slopes hard from back to front. But with OB long and early nerves, I take the conservative route.
Out up there. All right. Not bad. A little bit of miss. Hit that on the toe. Afraid I was going to go long.
A punchy 8 that comes up short, but leaves a pretty elementary up and down. I like to hit this de-lofted 56. A little bump and run is my go-to. The challenge here is pace. The ground is soft, the greens are fast, and it's a big slope. Statistically, that's an excellent little chip that leaves just 7 feet for par. These are the putts that make or break tournaments. Make this 7-footer for par, and you have all the momentum and confidence carrying you into the second hole. Miss it, and the grind starts really early. And I miss it. A good stroke that catches a piece of the hole, but doesn't go. That's a first hole bogey.
Up.
The second hole goes way downhill with the lake long that's normally in play, but with the wet conditions, I don't think I can reach it, so I go with driver. The landing area is pretty forgiving, so it's important to pick a specific target to not get careless. And that's piped. We start hot with the tee ball, which is a good sign.
130 to the bag, so it's a good number. Little 52. More green to the left, so let's be a little safe.
You're gonna hear me say that a lot, maybe too much. In golf in general, you're trying to optimize dispersions and optimize misses. It is a game of misses after all. But I have a tendency to overdo it in tournaments. There's a difference between safe and tentative.
Go, Dallas.
This one was tentative.
Too busy watching the top of that freaking golf cart drive by. All right, we're grinding again.
The pin was out on a peninsula in the front right of the green, and as I was over the ball, a marshal was driving his golf cart behind the green right in my line of sight. It took my attention away from the target, and while I could have backed off, I didn't. I chunked it and was lucky to carry the water. The problem with being tentative is that your misses tend to get you into bigger trouble, and that was the case here. I'm only 20 yards away, but now I have to cover a mound to an elevated green that runs away, and if you hit it too soft or too hard, you'll be embarrassed very quickly.
All right, I grind for par. First 2 holes are tough. It gets more playable.
You need speed and confidence on a shot like this, and the ability to accept at 15 feet on the green is a great result. From here, just don't make worse than bogey. Making a long one for par would be a bonus. And I don't get the bonus. Bogey start from the middle of the fairway. Confident tee shots, tentative approach. Can you tell which part of my game I trust? But we're on to the third hole. A par 5 and a chance to get the wheels on and find my footing in this round. A dogleg right that's not my favorite look, but with the wet conditions, it's a little easier to hold the fairway with the draw than normal. I'm taking it at the bunker on the right, and if it draws, it draws. That was perfect. Another good tee ball. And after waiting on the group in front of us, I have a chance to hit the green in 2. It's a 230-yard carry to the front edge of the green. It's lift clean in place, so I have a good lie. And other than greenside bunkers, there's not too much trouble by the green. But this one comes out a little low, it's drawing right at my target, and I miss clearing the bunker by a yard. leaving a pretty standard bunker shot.
Good swing, just didn't clear the bunker. Up and in for birdie though.
It's on the upslope, it's a good lie. The goal is to get it on the green and make sure to have a birdie look. And mission accomplished. After missing the first 2 greens, I have 15 feet to get one back. And it misses just low. Easy par.
Dallas, you went 5-5-5, correct?
Did, yeah.
All right.
Trying to keep the math easy for you.
5-5-5. Not how I drew it up, but no big numbers, and we're settling in. The third hole is a long par 3 with a surprisingly tricky green. It's just in this weird opening in the trees that seemingly makes it harder to hit than it should be. It's a little between clubs for me, but a hard 5-iron gets it to 33 feet, which, surprisingly, wins closest to the pin in the tournament. I told you it was a hard green to hit. A decent lag putt leaves me just 3 feet. The ones you have to make under pressure, little testers. And that's not a problem. 2 pars in a row, we're building. Patience is critical in tournaments, and I'm showing some 4 holes in. The 5th hole is another dogleg right. It's subtle, but with a tree on the right that you have to carry, you can run out of room with a draw. It's not my favorite tee shot, but we've been piping it. However, this one comes out with a little fade. I hit my start line, but 10 yards to the right instead of 10 yards to the left means I just find the hazard line.
Sloppy. I think we're doing lift main in place, but not in a hazard.
The rules of golf are unforgiving. You can see the mud on this ball, and if it were 18 inches to the left, I could pick it up and clean it. But inside the hazard line, I have to play it as it lies. Living in Texas, we don't get a bunch of mud balls, and while I've read that the ball tends to go the opposite direction of the mud, I can't say I have much experience with it, so I play this straight. It's a narrow opening to a narrow green, so out of this lie, we're just trying to get something bounding in the right direction and keep it in play.
All right, well, what you doing anyway? Little mud ball. Anything near the green is good.
And looking back on the camera, I'm lined up pretty far right. The mud takes it further right. And I'm happy just to have avoided the long stuff you can see here.
That's what happens when you have mud on the ball. Straight curve.
This wasn't the toughest pitch. I'm on an upslope to a flat green, but it's wet and I'm scrambling, trying to keep the momentum going.
Oh, go ahead.
And I was shocked at just how quickly this ball stopped. It's a great pitch, but now I have to pay it off with a great putt. It's just 6 feet, but I have to start this outside the hole. It's another one of those critical tournament putts.
Really good pour.
That was big. Keep building.
Look at that. Keeps momentum going. It's a tough shot there. Hell yeah.
The 6th hole should not be difficult. I say should because my track record here is not great. There's way more room to the right than you can see, and for some reason the left side has been a magnet for me, and the left is dead. It's just a 7-iron in, and knowing left is dead, my target is over the right greenside bunker. But of course, I pull it. It's one of those holes where I just feel like I know where the ball is going before I hit it. I've just been over there too many times. Lucky for me, this time with it being wet and me hitting it hard, I get around the hazard and I'm up. I just have a very difficult pitch to an elevated green out of mud. It's real easy to chunk. So I make sure to clip it towards the thin side, and look, when you miss in the spots I'm missing, you have to accept that bogey is a good result. Trying to get cute can lead to big numbers, and instead I've settled with 20 feet for par. I give the putt a good run, but it's going to be a 2-putt bogey. This hole has always played tough for me. It's a tough day, but we can live with bogeys. Just don't make the big number. And that's foreshadowing.
Good stroke.
The 7th hole is a big dogleg left, elevated, slopey green that plays super shallow. It's just a difficult hole despite typically only being a 3-wood off the tee. I say typically because with it being so wet, I pull an audible. I'm generally pretty good at not getting angry at a golf shot, but this was a mental mistake, and that makes me angry. I went with driver and made an uncommitted swing that took an immediate left turn into the creek when I'd planned to hit 3-wood. Now, I'm in big trouble. A penalty shot, and I still can't get to the green.
1 in, 2 out. This is my 3rd shot. And this is a hard green, so at this point in time, I'll probably take double and move on with my life.
I elect to go back on a line and drop in the thin strip of fairway that's cut as a walking path. Even in the moment, I know now that double is a good score. My tee shot was the equivalent of hitting it out of bounds. I have to lay up even from here. A little pitching wedge over the corner of the trees sets up my 4th shot. I execute the layup and have just a sand wedge in. The problem is, as I said on the tee, this is a bad green complex. It plays super shallow. It has a spine that runs down the middle that repels balls long over the green, and anything short will rip off the front. Even with a wedge, it's just a hard green to hit. At this point, I'll accept double, just don't compound the mistake.
Double is okay after that tee shot. You take that.
This ball lands about 12 feet from the pin. It's a good swing, but the slope just repels it. And by the time it's done rolling, it's not even on the green.
Really hard putt. That spun all the way back off the ridge.
Not only is it off the green, but this putt goes over a big uphill slope before falling off on the slope that repels balls to the back. I've just missed in an awful spot on a stupid hole, and I pay the price. That's a lot to count, but it's a 7. In this moment, it's honestly hard not to feel like I've thrown the round away. I'm 6 over par. It's going to be tough sledding to get back to even, which is around where I assume the winning score will be. So I have to reset. I can't let the disappointment of where I am affect where I'm going. It's still just 1 shot at a time, and I pipe this tee shot on 8.
Would have been nice about 10 minutes ago.
A ball that would normally go over 300 yards is only going 270 with it being wet. It's all carry, and it leaves a little tweener. I can't quite get a 3-wood to the front edge, but I could cover the bunker in front of me. It's just not worth the risk. The AI caddy would have told me 5-iron. I can't use the caddy in competition, but I chose 5, so maybe I'm learning from using the Tangent app. We're just trying to lay up to a good wedge yards and hit a good one here, just left of the bunker. And maybe too good, as it makes it onto this little side slope, but it's just a 56-degree wedge. It's time to start stacking up putts. You climb back just 1 shot at a time. Grinding through rounds like this will pay off when I need it in 2025. I hit an okay wedge equivalent to a 5 handicap according to the Tangent app, which means I have just over 25 feet for my first birdie.
Beats putting for 7 though. See if we can make one. Oh, Dallas.
But I'll have to wait. That's low and left. It's another one of those testers, and if the wheels are going to come off, this is the moment. But the putter is solid, and I make par. The 9th hole plays long, back up the hill and into the wind. The tee shot feels a little tighter than it is. Commit. And I stripe another one. Outside of the mental mistake on 7, the tee ball is working. Just a 9-iron in from 148 to a green that favors a fade.
Dadgummit, Dallas. It's so bad.
In this moment, it's hard to describe the shock to the system. I just missed a 9-iron 30 yards to the left of the target, when my dispersion with a 9-iron is closer to 15 yards. It's just an outlier of a golf shot, and now I have an impossible pitch, off a downslope to a green that runs away from me. We're in bogey mode again. To my credit, I couldn't have hit this better. It lands on my spot. I'm just on the wrong side of the hole. So, we're still not technically on the green, but a solid lag means at least it's an easy 5. That 9 holes puts us at 7 over 43. Ouch. It's not what I expected when I was driving to the course this morning. It's time to put on my big boy pants and grind. This would be an easy round to check out of, and maybe it's an easy video for you to skip. But these kinds of rounds build character. They build resilience. And you just have to keep building. I may not win this tournament, but I'm hardening my resolve in a way that is going to pay me back very soon. I promise. That's also foreshadowing. I piped this 10th tee shot and have just a wedge in down the hill. Got it far enough left to avoid having trouble with the tree that's in the middle of the fairway. And that's my first great approach of the day.
How you? It's been very cat in that. That was at least not a scared shot. That's a good golf shot.
And listen to that. I wasn't scared for the first time today. Tournaments will do that to you. And I wish I could say that I paid it off with a birdie putt, but I overread it. We absolutely pipe a drive on 11, but I'm still holding on to the steering wheel. We're 10 holes in, and the nerves are there. Amazing.
Steery. Why are you aiming over there? Turn. Keep turning. That's good. Let's see it land. Hit it good. Just blocked it.
A conservative 3-wood gets me to a good angle to attack this pin, and short wedges is one of the areas I've been putting in some work on distance control, and I get to show it off.
Shot. Thank you. Good job in practice. About time I have one of those wedges to even hit. It's gonna make a birdie.
All right, you're 10 holes in, you haven't made a birdie, you have 4 feet, and you want it really bad. But you're in between reeds. Hit it hard and left edge, or soft and outside? I hit it soft and left edge. In theory, the outcome of a missed birdie putt should not affect the next tee ball. But when you're pouring every ounce of energy into grinding, acceptance, and all the things I preach on a golf course, sometimes you're just human. Golf is hard. Here I am trying to build a business, trying to show off Tangent and this app that I've built to play better golf. I've thrown myself out there. I'm going to win the Mid-Am. I'm going to play in the Masters. But we're 11 holes into my first tournament since I've said that, and I'm 7 over par and making a mess. I've got Grant, my cameraman, following me around, and it's difficult in these moments to not say, what are we doing? Why would anyone believe that I'm good enough? Why are people going to invest in this? This is a joke. But that's normal. That's a perfectly acceptable thought to have. But I can't let it define me. Let the thought come, then let it go. Hit the next shot. That's literally all you can do. Brick by brick, shot by shot, build this thing. I bogey this par 3. Another shot from way out of position, and on the 12th hole, I hit a hard tee shot into a tough spot in the bunker. Now my tee ball's wavering. The wheels are wobbling, and the world is starting to close in on me.
Big hop. Way short. Good shot, though.
Culminating with chunking this chip a whopping 4 feet.
Let's clean it again.
I can hear you thinking, this guy isn't a scratch. No way he gets to +6, and I'm out on this journey. And I wouldn't blame you, but I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to grind. I'm going to get there. I'm going to keep building. And these shots are tough, by the way. I'm hitting out of soup, but it doesn't matter. Golf is hard. Some days it's harder than others. The best in the world practice every day and still throw out a clunker here and there. So what makes me, a 40-year-old father of 2 app developer, believe that he would be immune to a tough day? This is my first stroke play tournament in a year. I'm bad. I'm rusty. I'm nervous. I'm inconsistent, but I'm patient. I'm resilient, and I'm determined. I'm out of bounds.
Man, I think you're safe, dude. You might,
All right, so maybe you don't want to get just that far into my brain. It can get pretty dark, but that self-talk right there, that's real. That's how you slowly turn the negative, self-deprecating thoughts into positive, turn self-doubt into self-belief. I had to stand out of bounds to hit the second shot, but my ball was in play. And after another pull to the left, we have another tough little pitch. Just keep grinding.
Scoot to the right one. Go. Stop.
And that was a great chip. that I pay off with a great putt. Just keep building. The 15th hole is a tricky par 4 with a strategically placed bunker that is right where you want to land it. Honestly, I don't know what I was thinking here. All the struggles have scrambled my course management, and I chose a club that put me square in it rather than laying back, making things more difficult on myself. But I hit a good bunker shot here that finds the green. It spins back to the front of the green, but it's on the green. A long putt. I get overzealous here and I leave myself a long par putt, which I finally miss one. I can feel myself running out of energy. It's been a long, muddy walk. The 16th hole is a tough par 3, long with a narrow green, and I do well to hit it just off the green. But I'm also lucky it's wet, or this ball may bound down into the hazard. Instead, I have a pretty elementary chip, and I hit it to a tap-in. Easy 3, and I haven't got to say that often. 2 holes to go, and the 17th is a toughie. A narrow shoot on this par 5 means you have to hit a good one. And I do. In retrospect, I'm not sure I've played the tips at Heritage Ranch, and it's a much tougher course from back there, particularly with it being wet and playing longer. I'm in the fairway here, but I'm just laying up.
Jesus, Dallas. Everything is so far to the left. Only by 50 yards, so almost a good shot.
And I'm struggling even to do that at this point. It's fine, but I'm missing my lines.
Just, I'm very good. I don't know where the ball's going today. It's been a while since I've been in that position.
After a summer of playing some of the best golf of my life, all of a sudden I feel lost. Golf has a funny way of doing that to you, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to keep plodding. I hit an average wedge here that finds the green.
Alright, got one right at the target. I'm talking about the left. Just not great. Putting though.
It leaves an easy 2-putt, and it's an easy par on a tough hole. Spoiler alert, I'm about to post a whopping 84 in my first tournament back. A scratch golfer with a tangent handicap of +1 is about to post an 84. If you're a higher handicapper out there, this should give some perspective. Golf is hard, but that's kind of the point. I'm out here testing what I can do, and sometimes that means falling short of expectations. But it's what you take away from rounds like this that matters. I can tell you a couple takeaways. I need to figure out the pull. I can't play effectively while pulling irons 40 yards offline. I need to figure out how to play better in mud. I struggle with short chips, but more than anything, I just need reps. This was an outlier day. It's not who I am as a golfer, and this score won't define me or my journey. If you're still watching this, thank you. This is part of the journey. I'm not posting some vanity scores to show how good I can be. This is what golf looks like. Ups, downs, and hopefully more ups and downs. That was a scrambling joke. I've got some exciting times in front of me, but it's each of these steps that are going to take me there. We'll see you next time on The Good Miss.